Hey you guys, let's read about the new Halloween coming this October 2020. In light of this COVID pandemic, now they want to change Halloween. But first, remember I got the chocolate covered Twinkies, or excuse me, fudge covered. They don't look like that. That looks smooth and chocolatey. This looks a little dry. What do you think? Let's see. It kind of smells like a Twinkie, but honestly, it does not look like the package. In my opinion, I do think it's kind of dry. I'm not crazy about it at all. If I buy Twinkies again, that's just gonna be old fashioned Twinkie. Anyways, so alright, so Los Angeles County, they came up with this new Halloween rule at I guess it was publicized on September 9th, and I printed this out a few hours after. County officials issued word that trick-or-treating was prohibited recently. Then they backed down from that stance on Wednesday, which was yesterday the 9th, but nonetheless discouraged the annual tradition. Meanwhile, some folks are looking for creative alternatives. So is that a mixed message? They backed down from the new rule, but they still said they're still discouraging it. Okay. When Jason Smith learned this week that public health officials were advising against trick-or-treating and prohibiting other Halloween attractions, such as haunted houses, block parties, in Los Angeles County this year, he really wasn't too surprised. County officials recently issued word that trick-or-treating was prohibited, then backed down from that stance on Wednesday, but nonetheless discouraged the annual tradition. Meanwhile, Smith, a 33-year-old Woodland Hills resident, was already planning an attraction designed specifically for a world reimagined by the coronavirus pandemic. Smith and his team, who already work together executing events for Hollywood Promotions, plan to create a drive-through haunted experience in Topanga Canyon called Hauntoween, LA. We knew that Halloween was going to be different, Smith said in an interview on Wednesday the 9th. If we could come up with a plan that would be safe and allow families to get close to those traditional Halloween experiences, we felt that families would gravitate to it. The drive-through attraction Smith and his team will unveil on October 9th is exactly the kind that is encouraged under, get this, they have it underlined, new guidance from the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health. On Saturday, September 5th, the Department of Public Health posted Halloween guidelines on its website stating that door-to-door trick-or-treating was banned. Oh, I do it on a Saturday? There's something sneaky about that. I'm not sure what it is, but is the public health department even working on Saturday? No. So that they posted on a Saturday, and when people call to give them grief, they're not there, right? So here's their door-to-door. Here's the guidelines stating door-to-door trick-or-treating was banned under county health order, as is trunk-to-trunk treat distribution, in which children take candy from trunks of parked cars. However, by Wednesday, so 4 days later, the guidelines were changed with trick-or-treating and trunk-to-trunk events listed as not recommended. So they went from banned to not recommended. I think it's sneaky because I didn't hear a thing. Not one word, and that's probably why it came out on a Saturday. Nobody caught it, reported it. Crazy. So they changed it from not permitted to not recommended. I thought somewhere up there they flashed the word banned, but okay, so now it's not recommended instead of not permitted. Despite that change, Ferrer still insisted that allowing children to go door to door during the coronavirus pandemic wasn't safe. Trick-or-treating were highly recommending that it not happen, she said. We don't think it's an appropriate activity during a pandemic. You know, there's no guarantee that when you go trick-or-treating that your child goes up to a house where the person who opens the door is wearing a face covering. And when you don't know the people opening the door, there's no guarantee they're not sick and that the candy they're passing out that they've touched may not be safe for you or your child to be sharing. Such decrees have actually forced people to get creative about how they celebrate this cherished holiday. We know that together we can find lots of ways to celebrate that are safe for children and families, said the public health director, Barbara Ferrer, during a Wednesday briefing. We are asking a lot of each other as we learn to live through a pandemic. Yep. Okay, so I missed when all this came to light publicly on the news yesterday, Wednesday. I missed it all. I'm getting the tail end of this. County health officials recommend drive-through events that include distribution of treat bags, but limited to commercially packaged, non-perishable treats, and recipients must remain in their vehicles. Drive-in movie nights are also recommended, along with Halloween-themed meals or at outdoor restaurants. Art installations and decorations at homes and yards permissible. This year, it simply is not safe to celebrate in the ways that we normally do, Ferrer said. With Halloween still nearly 2 months away, the question logically arose whether Thanksgiving, okay, now they're moving on to Thanksgiving and Christmas, would these gatherings too be discouraged by the health officer order, to which Ferrer said she was optimistically hopeful that the county could recover enough by then to celebrate those holidays safely. Well, I beg to differ. We'll see. We will always need to implement some of our basic distancing measures until people are vaccinated or tested every day or have a good therapeutic, Ferrer said. I am hopeful that by Thanksgiving and Christmas, transmission will be way down, but we will always watch the data. Smith said he didn't have any special knowledge that traditional haunted houses would get the thumbs down from health officials when he began planning for his attraction. It was just instinct, he said. Our attitude was we wanted to do this right and start planning early. Smith said, I hope more pop up and families who aren't as close to the Woodland Hills area will have some ideas of their own. Descanso Gardens in La Cañada, Flint Ridge, plans to welcome guests beginning October 1st to a coronavirus-friendly environment daytime display, what the garden is calling a pumpkin-filled extravaganza, where guests safely wind their way through socially distant pumpkin-themed display. Children 14 and under were invited to wear costumes and masks as they explore the garden. LA Haunted Hayride, a popular attraction typically at Griffith Park, has moved to San Dimas this year for a drive-up experience beginning September 25th. Early on Wednesday, when word on the county's initial decision to prohibit trick-or-treating was circulating. That's interesting. They posted on Saturday, and then it's around town 3 days later. It's all the news. The news did not play well in the elementary school community. Jaden Paulin, an 11-year-old student in Chatsworth, said she was bummed. Halloween is an exciting day, and I was looking forward to walking around with my friends in our costumes, she said. I also wanted to fill up on candy. This is pretty disappointing. Taylor Winters, founder of Haunting.net, a website related to immersive Halloween experiences, said that the county's recommendations did not mean that Halloween itself was canceled. I think we know that. You can't cancel a holiday. A holiday is a holiday. Well, I guess it's not a holiday, it's an event, but you can't cancel it. You can change the celebration event, but can't cancel it. Halloween exists in hearts, in the crisp autumn air, in the smile of a jack-o'-lantern, and in the shadows of our imagination, he wrote in a statement. For us, we will continue to celebrate the season through our spooky decorations, our drive-in horror movies, and numerous haunted houses experienced in fear from the safety of our car. Halloween is a big event for Keith Ramsey and his family of 2 young children, aged 2 and 6, who live in Westchester. Halloween has been a big deal in my family for a long time, said Ramsey, who coaches baseball at Maricosta High School in Manhattan Beach. My in-laws would set up a buffet stall in the neighborhood, pass out candy. We would get 35 to 40 people coming by the house. I'll say hi, hello, happy Halloween. Ramsey said he considered consulting with his wife about alternatives for a 6-year-old. Maybe we will do something around the house and be creative, he said. Maybe we'll have candy in a different area of the house. I already know that he's going to want to dress up. I promise you that. At Mitchell Terena Street Elementary School in Silver Lake, the school's booster group has planned virtual pumpkin festival for Halloween, coinciding with the end of its fall pledge drive. While families won't be able to gather in person and tour a haunted house as in years past, organizers are determined to make the most of the situation. They're considering hosting costume parties and pumpkin carving sessions over Zoom, said Aaron Plus Campamore, co-president of the Booster Club. The goal is just to make it fun and hopefully to raise money for our schools and give the kids something to do that weekend as a safe alternative to trick-or-treating. Other families, meanwhile, were happy to learn that the county is no longer prohibiting door-to-door trick-or-treating. So remember, they're not prohibiting or permitting, they say it's not recommended. So they're still kind of poo-pooing the idea. Oh my goodness, Van Nuys resident Frances Sandoval plans to allow her 10-year-old daughter to trick-or-treat, stressing the importance of providing children with a sense of normalcy during the pandemic. Oh, this is one thing they've been looking forward to all year long, she said, adding that it's not often that Halloween falls on a Saturday, thus allowing kids to stay out later. Oh, I didn't take into account it's on a Saturday. That's a holiday weekend event. It starts on Thursday or Friday. Now that should be fun. And see, this is why it's like contradicting itself, because they were all for this Labor Day weekend. You know, letting people do this, do that, go on vacation, go to the beach for that fun weekend. Now Halloween comes, and now, before it's even here, they're poo-pooing upon it. And the way Sandoval sees it, trick-or-treating with a couple of people in your household is less of a concern than other activities that are also permitted. I see just as much danger in trick-or-treating as people going hiking or to the beach or to the market, she said. I think it's safer than a party or a church gathering. And aren't you wearing masks when you trick-or-treat? Fran Espinoza, administrator at Viewpoint School in Calabasas, said even though the school would likely not be able to hold a Halloween event, he thinks he'll be able to still enjoy Halloween with his two sons, Cruz and Chance, aged 8 and 2. That's because they live in Simi Valley, part of Ventura County, rather than LA County, where the school is located. Interesting. Are the other counties going to follow suit? We don't know yet. It says not sure if Ventura County will follow the same guidelines, but I think there are ways we can trick or treat and remain socially distant. For kids who find themselves unable to carry out one of the most treasured days of the year, nothing might be able to console them completely. Dominic Ferrer, head football coach at Charter Oaks High in Covina, said the lack of trick-or-treating this year builds resiliency. Ferrer is also a psychology teacher at the school. I would advise parents to acknowledge the loss and help their children to name their feelings such as sadness, disappointment, confusion, fear, and anger, Ferrer said. Parents can then invite their children to participate in creating an alternative Halloween celebration for the families to enjoy together. Young people and children will take their cue from how the adults handle change and model adaptation and flexibility. For those of you wondering why am I chuckling, immediately is coming to mind is Pumpkin Charlie Brown. What's the name of the Halloween Charlie Brown thing? It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. And I'm imagining in my mind, had we been kids and Charlie Brown was having to go through all this Halloween havoc. I've just got a vision of Peanuts, a little TV show. Oh my God. It says, Libby Rose, a parent, a fourth grader in Sherman Oaks, said she's disappointed by the county's decision to walk back a trick-or-treating ban, calling the activity a case surge waiting to happen. I, for one, I'm excited about our home scavenger hunt and scary movie night, Rose said. My daughter is excited too. It's way cooler than being on a ventilator. Editor's note. This story was updated to include Los Angeles County's move to walk back its Tuesday decision to ban trick-or-treating and other Halloween activities. Instead, public health officials are just discouraging any and all activities. City news services contributed to this report. Oh my goodness. So there you have it. I'll post the link. I want to go directly to the article, which may change. Like, it seems like every few hours they're updating information. So I guess this got published online Saturday. Nobody talked about it on the news Saturday, Sunday, Monday because of the holiday. So I guess Tuesday it kind of came out. Wednesday they started doing changes, which was yesterday, and here I am Thursday. I'm hoping to get this up today on Thursday, and I'm just getting wind of it and noticed I've seen several different publications on different days and different hours, and they've each changed a little bit. So let's see what happens to this information by Thursday night. And happy Halloween regardless. Thanks for watching.